Hello, we are back once again. We're about to finish this trial, so hopefully you all enjoy the ending of the first trial of the second game. And prepare for a little bit of drama here, because it gets wild. Sylph will be once again doing the role of Sasato, and the newest character and the last character to be played. And his name is Writing Many Memo, which is a way of saying writing many memos, which is what journalists do.
Nice wordplay.
But they try to get it as Japanese as possible because English translation.
English.
I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin.
Ray.
But
You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone.
no, that's not true at all. That's not it at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hoped to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence, that you'd stand by me to the last.
I remember.
And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susato! I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets.
I'm no better, you know.
Oh,
Even though in my heart I knew that you'd hold the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. There was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you.
Susato.
I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me, too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer.
Oh, no.
I think this situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task.
Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home.
I'm gonna go away now.
When to get milk.
Where's all cigarettes?
Which is why I can see more clearly now. The rain is gone. So, Ray,
Yes?
can you find it in your heart to forgive me?
Oh, Susato. You know, you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now.
Valentine's Day is over.
Oh, Ray.
I was so scared, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I knew it was you who stole the poison. Well, now, whatever do you mean? And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. It all happened right before my eyes. And...
Oh.
Okay.
And you were the only people in the hut at the time.
Yeah, it's right. Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So, I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed.
I still can't believe it happened. That's why I couldn't bring myself to speak up.
It will be alright. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day. I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you've said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikatoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now.
The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory. Synthesized blends of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it.
Oh, I see.
Yes, without this chemical regent, it's impossible to detect the toxin.
Chemical regent.
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to the police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. What's the matter, Sasato? You're suddenly very quiet.
It's this newspaper article. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret.
It was all the English woman's doing!
What?
It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady swaned in and without my compunction said to the Professor Mikotoba, "Oh, Professor, surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there?"
It's put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-san's curiosity has been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction.
So then, Soseki-san knew about the poison.
Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too.
This... many memos-san. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach?
Oh, no. I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh?
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police.
and on Reddit, and on 4chan, and on YouTube, and pretty much everywhere else you
Yeah.
can find postings.
Oh no, he tried going on 4chan, but someone called it fake, and I don't know if I can say this word, so I'm just gonna say the 3-letter word that also means happy.
Okay.
Ah,
Yes, that must be what happened. Counsel! We've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed to the courtroom at once.
Oh, Homestar's not here.
I'm on vacation. It's time to steel ourselves once again, then. Defense Attorney Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Yes. Liz put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she is telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day.
By the way, that was my best impression of Jotaro, because I figured, well, they have almost the exact same hat in Part 6, so I'm assuming if Jotaro wasn't a stand user, this would be his occupation, bailiff.
He wouldn't want to still be the thing that he wanted to be.
Ocean something?
Marine biologist.
Marine biologist, yeah.
I hereby call this court to order as we proceed to continue the trial of Ray Randy. Prosecutor, at you as you summon the new witness.
I'm surprised you didn't say prostitute or achu, because considering what you said last week.
No. Shut up about the secret prostitutes.
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh no.
He's
Oh.
getting married?
What news?
Let me tell you about my Valentine's date.
And why does he look so happy about it? Oh,
Oh,
no.
it was really good date. During the recess with the collaboration of Professor Mikatopa's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Mr. Zalebrett's life.
Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course.
Get off of me, Zip. Stop sucking up.
I had the regen delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would be there in good time.
But judging by the man's swag...
Oh, sorry. I got my characters mixed up.
He's not the best of us.
But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
And, Counsel, what were the results?
Dramatic pause. This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade.
What? Are you sure about that?
I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Oh, not yours?
Never. What, are you kidding me? I already lost my hair. I'm trying to grow a new one.
Armed with the
Oh,
regens,
God.
the test is extremely simple.
I don't know why, but that reminded me of that moment from Shrek when Farquaad was like, "Many of you will die, but it is a sacrifice I am willing to make."
Mm-hmm. That meme. They couldn't have made a mistake.
In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed. Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness.
All right.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
Oh God.
Oh,
What a
is that?
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Written mini memo. The show you news. I'm what people like to call a journal.
What's a journal, Father? Do you know?
What's a giorno?
Pizza.
I didn't mean.
What's a giorno?
It's not a delivery, that's for sure.
It's simply a JoJo character from Italy. It's simply a contraction of journalist.
I'm there when the news breaks, holding pen to paper to catch these scoops. They're in print the next morning. But don't call me the hero for nothing.
Good
Nice
lord.
guy of news.
That
Ladies.
sounded like an introduction to a newscast. The nice guy
You can't
version
see
of
me
news.
doing this, but I am wiggling my eyebrows.
Murder!
So, it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Well, what have we here?
I'm sorry.
Ooh, brace yourself.
Ow.
Many memos. He senses a scoop in the off then. Female student of the foul play defended by a curiously handsome young lawyer in the Supreme Court.
Are you hitting on me?
Maybe
coming on to me?
depends on if you want dinner. 7.
Okay, let's be realistic. Those fucking photos would not be like that back in the day.
They would. The readers left this up, set it above the fold, 72 point 5-leg format for the morning edition.
We're gonna run out of film, bud.
What?
Right then. Let's start with your name.
Oh, it's Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Next, what made you to become a lawyer?
No interviews in my court, please.
Well, I want to go for our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryotaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma Sama's dream for a while.
By the way, my name is Tatsuuchi Aochi. That's Tak-K-2-Chi Auchi.
I thought it was Achu.
Now, that's your way of saying it. I'm sticking to my original last name. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart.
No, the readers won't buy that.
Bah!
Witness.
Yes.
What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Virtue only yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a journal if I didn't click quick, but present it with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories kill it. Sometimes I have to chase them down. But either way, you gotta be fast. Fast legs to run with and a fast hand to ride with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say.
This guy wants speed.
That's what I call my memoism.
Oh no,
What?
it's an ism guy.
Trademarked.
Many memos.
Ah, yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san.
Yes, right. That was me. Many memo again. That's
you-
you with a Reddit top 15.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what the internet is. But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu news offices after our meeting.
The scoop is, I didn't.
Spoiler
Yes.
alert.
Because that Englishwoman's words had piqued my journalistic interest, among other things. Miss Britt's words? A criminal to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung. This country's judiciary is rotten to the core.
At least he knows what's going down.
The police are just imperial pawns.
Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play.
Well, anyway. Also, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right, here goes. I should like to. Oh, what?
Oh.
There. You doing it or I? Imitating
Oh.
the voice.
I guess it's Many Memo doing an impersonation of Giselle.
Okay.
I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast.
A serious criminal going on some junket. People need to know about this. That's why I said that you sneak after them. Get Inman's story so I could hammer her in the press. Any other way and I'd get a restraining order.
Yeah.
You mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand?
The grim scene portrayed in this photo. Oh, sorry.
That's still here.
The grim scene portrayed in this photograph.
Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journal eyes.
With your own Giorno eyes?
Journal.
Keep your pizza eyes away from me.
From start to finish, you find her in my trusty camera.
Oh, Joseph Joestar would love him.
Thank
Okay, wait.
you. Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, just have him Hermit Purple it, his fucking camera, and just like smash it.
Thank you, Minamon-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death.
Do I have to?
Yes. Or else you're not going to get no problem.
Each hut was made out of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside the room. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife. Throwing the Englishwoman to the floor, she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journo spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click.
That sounds so wrong.
That sounds.
I
Yeah, it
pulled
does.
apart a rough weave of one of the screens and poked a lens through it for the perfect shot.
That thing's gonna break.
I know. I was gonna say, what the hell's with the physics?
Read screens, you say? And that, yeah, that, and when it snaps, it'll, right,
Gonna-
you can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. Oh, don't go sucking yourself off, you weirdo.
I don't know if he's that flexible.
The HUD walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds.
I wonder if he is that flexible.
Let's
Yes.
not think about it.
Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and create some sleep in your pulse.
Oh, oh God.
And there was a breeze for me to poke my camera and see the whole thing hotting up.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Oh
What
yeah.
a pervert! What a pervert!
Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved.
On your own self.
Pervert? Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens. Looking for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the... Why?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my god.
Lens of my camera through the gap. What the hell?
This is
I've played this game 2 times before this, and this is the way that now that we're going over this with just more one person, the way that they
Why
Make
did
a
we get
statement.
Dialogue
Why did I
is-
get Mr. Innuendo, Ice Guy Zap Brannigan sounding character? Okay, the voice is my fault, but still.
Take a
Would I
seat,
get
Benny
away
Memo.
from it, or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime.
A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, we're to scoop the next. A mini memoism in a nutshell.
At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. A pervert. The evidence and testimonies are exactly compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
No.
Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful.
Wah.
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question. What question? Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why, then, was the story never published?
Oh, that's right.
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. Ha! More pathetic excuses.
Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest.
Seriously, we need fucking Hermit Purple right now.
the
the
camera will
fuck-
tell all. It will use its psychic photography to find out exactly who did it. And then we'll never know exactly. Oh, here we go.
Did you swear before this court that you actually saw the... Sorry, do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place? Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out. From start to finish.
I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you can use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed.
Right you are. It's all here in my mini memo pad. Say that
That
5 times
was
fast.
Many memo pad, many memo pad, many memo pad, many memo pad, many memo pad.
We didn't say literally.
Autism at work.
When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the English woman was on this stool at the back of the hut here.
Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that.
She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt.
What an ass.
Ugh. Then, the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The English woman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. Suddenly, I became more interested, and in a flash, plunged a knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other.
What you describe is a grim crime indeed.
Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what many memoism says. God damn it, Gyarados. Sorry,
You should have bite the reporter, not actually splash.
That
By
was
the
a
way,
magic herb.
Mini Memo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than catch it on film?
Journos have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre.
I don't know French.
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all?
Obviously not. The observer always remains on the outside looking in. Story of his life, everyone.
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
Your Excellency, if I may.
Yes, Professor?
Like, he could have diffused the situation, just pocket sand.
Would have stopped everyone.
Like, no, there was a lightsaber match going on. What, am I gonna stop that? Hell no. I'll watch with
Like,
some
oh,
popcorn.
hey, chick fight.
Oh yeah, back then we didn't even have porn, so this was the only thing we had.
Ooh, a leg.
I think it was still a thing, just drawings.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to find any in Japan back in those days.
I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father, what are you?
I am your father. Circus?
Circus, where are you?
So, did it get kicked out again?
I guess I gotta wait a moment.
Yeah. Let me check Skype just to make sure. Oh.
Sorry.
it's- Oh.
Everything popped back up. I got kicked off.
You're still getting that happening to you.
I need to fucking update my computer with it, I guess.
Either
I
that or
will
we'll have to
grant-
move to Discord or something.
Yeah, probably. I will grant the defense request.
I don't know if that will be any better, but we can certainly try it next time around. Did we lose Circus again?
Oh my god. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
So, they're taking down a lot of stuff for the Wii U shop and the 3DS shop next year,
Yes, because everything's going
including
to be
Pokemon
moving.
Home.
Well, you can get that for free.
Next year, yeah.
So it's going to be all Switch all the time.
Even worse is there's this thing they put where they later deleted it, where it's like, we will not give you a way to get these things on a different like method way or whatever it was phrased as.
Did you say meth way?
I was gonna say a different method, then I
Alright,
changed it to way.
alright. Minimum Soul, you will supplement your formal testimony with the gentleman statement. God damn, I can't read right now.
Well, nihilism is the foundation of minimalism, but I'll definitely prove that my words aren't meaningless. Ow. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was only there as an observer.
Wait a minute. There's some sort of emblem here, look. But it isn't a Yume University one.
It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Ray.
It's a nice pen, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can't find it anywhere else.
Do you think we could take the pen after the trial's over?
It's pretty.
Many memos, son. Until now, I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
Unless you're the Sun.
Yeah.
You're spot on there. Or the, what was it, National Enquirer?
Or the Daily Wire.
The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Show You News on my arm.
I call
In a way-
bullshit.
In a way that's more memoism.
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
What are you suggesting with those incriminatory words, Counsel?
Many memos, son. Do you recognize this fountain pen?
Ugh.
This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
What are you?
I
If
am
you
not
look-
your father.
Okay, Maury.
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. R.M.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, Ray Membami.
Is it a coincidence, I wonder, that your initials are also R.M.?
No!
Rayton, Mini Memo, R.M.
That's horse dung. Can't you see? One of the central tenets of minimalism is being a pencil user.
And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see on your right hand, stop stabbing your tongue, you weirdo.
You're gonna have blood coming out of that. I don't know how. You're gonna taste a lot of lead.
There's a very obvious blue ink stain.
It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is.
Horsey horse dung.
That's kind of redundant. Redundant.
Many memos on it is not the case that before she died. Oh, is it not the case? You met with Giselle Brett in the beach hut.
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse.
Exactly. So, Show You News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the sky. The events is neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell, yes. There is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is.
In the case of the council, the fence will now show the court where the alleged clue lies.
Of course, Your Excellency. On this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is.
Look at its gloriousness.
There's some. Oh, alright, we read this already.
Well, we're gonna read it again, but not really.
As well as the initials, there is an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will, of course, recognize. Many Memo-san.
Goodness me! It's the emblem of the Total Truth.
In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Show You News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Mini Memo-san, how do you respond? No.
Order! Order! Explain yourself, witness! I think you just had a heart attack, guys.
So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets. I've used nothing but honest tactics. Alright, then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. I'm gonna call bullshit if you said you had an affair with Miss Bread. Yet, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded, I, a Show You News reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the English woman. An interview?
You never mentioned this before.
When exactly was this? As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. Couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. Oh gosh, 2 to 3 minutes? It's not looking good on you, mate. And it came to nothing, and as many memoists say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. Oh yeah.
however insignificant you seem to be. The court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired.
Got it, yes, alright, but on one condition.
Condition?
I was gonna ask for a pair of Miss Brett's underwear, isn't he?
No.
In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. Oh no. But you need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsume-san. Oh.
Crap.
He wants one of Wagahai's kittens. Soseki-san.
I'm a cat.
Okay, yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. Brace yourselves. It's not a harmless one, it's big.
What?
The hell? So we're calling Torgo, summoning out Torgo now, huh?
Many memoirs states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story.
Very well. I will grant the witness request in this instant. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand.
Soseki-san hiding something.
I actually like dogs.
Traitor!
You want to do his voice, Joe, or what? It's your...
If you're
Gotcha.
if you're giving it back to me, but otherwise no, you can keep it.
I was gonna say they missed the Torgo voice.
I missed the Torgo voice too.
All
You
right,
nailed it.
I'll do it.
You can find me another voice next week.
Okay.
I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed, and the other witnesses come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. Then, this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question.
Will the master want you instead of me?
But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why many memoism demands I reveal it now.
You mean to say the victim?
The victim regained consciousness? And when she did, you decided to ask her a question? That's, true, yes.
He did. And that's all, not all. The woman gave him a very definite answer. Answer that incriminates the accused.
This is preposterous. Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before, you yokel hack? It wasn't even a conversation!
Over 9,000?
Yes, I did pose the withering English Rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious even.
Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. The court must and will know the truth.
Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporters claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow. What an... Okay.
Get off the desk, cat. Hey, what did I say?
No cats in my court.
That's why I'm a dog lover now.
No dogs either. Only
Fine.
lizards.
Fine, I
Only
have
hermit
turtles.
crabs.
I will go to Treasure Trove Cove in Banjo-Kazooie 1 and get you a hermit crab.
Gosh, I knew someone who had hermit crabs. They're not online anymore, but I miss them.
What question? What exactly did he say?
Well, now, you'd hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Rider Man?
And
Mr. Rider Pirate Man?
out with it, you yokel hack. What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying English woman?
What weather we're having? That's what he said.
Well, in truth, I'd been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see.
Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man.
Are you saying
Ooh,
beaches are for
Ooh.
children?
throwing shade.
But
Damn,
then,
homie.
someone needs to go to the beach more often.
I'm too busy with pork.
Okay, Your Honor.
Go
But-
swimming, Judge. Go swimming.
But then, all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air.
Ray,
I ran up the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brett on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan, a moan from the dead English woman. I nearly jumped out of my skin.
What?
but what did you ask her, Soseki-san?
I don't know this pork, but he has teeth like a nut.
I asked her, who did this to you?
Don't patronize this protagonist any longer. How did the woman respond?
she didn't. She said nothing in response.
But
When instead you will answer the question asked of you now without even vision of I demand you that you amend your testimony.
I will.
I asked her who did this to you, but she never replied. Just like everybody else in England.
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant. Soseki-san, is that really true?
It's not easy to say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the English woman was sprawled on the floor below us, with the student girl standing on the far side of her. And when I asked who did this to you, the English woman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut, which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today.
No.
Sarkazon, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony?
But fiddlesticks, I say.
This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese.
Yes, of course. The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling.
and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no, not slightly. In a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. To somewhere at the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all.
You mean that your memory of events and the direction which the victim was pointing are both unclear?
Yes, that's it, unclear. I'm very, very unclear. Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because, as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime.
I am inclined to agree. And the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial.
No.
The headline's writing itself. Jackson Lawyers, hopes dashed. 92 point across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition.
This is a serious blow, Sasato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling, and the trial will be over.
But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet. Elliot, what are you doing?
Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need.
It gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial room assumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment as Brett was killed.
The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back.
How could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in the beach hut that was empty but for herself and Ray? Or amid all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question. Elliot, stop.
I will take it then that the defense has nothing further to add.
So, the gallant yokel student's luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised.
In that case, I'm ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter.
Stop. Stop. This is a crucial turning point now. If I can establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding, and how did he or she stab the victim?
Objection!
Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your adjudication for the time being.
Adjudication.
Adjudication.
Adjudication. Oh.
Harry did it. I said, oh, to what end,
Oh,
Counsel?
we didn't hear you.
I didn't hear ya.
Damn you, Achu!
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. The... oh, I already read that.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
an
it's this-
altern... Sorry, I just realized. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Objection! An alternative theory? Ha! None exists. Objection!
There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime.
What?
And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time. By mustering all her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction.
This is fiction. Fantasy.
Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Very well. As you seem sure of yourself, Counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Nobbergirl.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At this moment, the victim was stabbed. Where exactly are you proposing the culprit was killed?
Naruhodo-san would never give up, and I mean Naruhodo now. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, Counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut. Order! Order! Order!
But student lawyer Naruhodo-san Esquire, that makes no sense at all.
You've just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap. But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about. I can swear to that.
Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
Actually, Prosecutor Rauchi, there is a way. And, in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that it is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
You're bluffing. You're bluffing. You'll go.
The defense assertion is clearly too fascinating for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, Counsel. Excuse me, I have to use the bathroom.
Okay.
And then I'll be back too. I gotta go check up on the laundry.
Okay. I guess we'll fill in for any characters.
Alright.
I'll do the judge then until Circus
Alright.
gets back. The original photographic print of the crime scene.
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Objection! Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing.
I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to.
Counsel, once again I must call on you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph is the trace of the stabbing, which you claim took place from outside the hut?
Oh.
Get it?
Yeah. Look closely just here. And the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds.
No, I can't. I can't see any such thing.
It's true that the hut in question has 4 walls as you'd expect, however. By parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
This is extraordinary.
Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. And everyone present at the scene, there is only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Reiten Many Memo-san, it could only have been you.
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume as part of this farcical scenario that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, of course not.
We're not?
If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death.
Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on the stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me, as if she knew she was untouchable.
A stool.
Yes, a stool, the thing that looks like what someone laid on your forehead.
I have no response.
Oh, boy.
Have another look at the photograph.
Look at this photograph.
Oh, no.
Something, something, something makes me laugh. The slit in the read screen. Would align perfectly with the back of the person who was sitting on that stool.
My word. So, in fact, the victim was...
Killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the read screen. Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut. Over the defendant, Membani-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. Stepping on the beach,
Stepping on the beach, a-ree-da-doo. Stepping on the beach, a-ree-da-da.
By your silence, Many Memo-san, I take it that you don't deny the charge.
This is... Option!
That will do. It will appear that we have a tactic admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court was successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Mama-san, is innocent of the crime.
Oh, thank goodness. I finally made him cave.
I must say, I've never been more proud.
No, this can't be. The Ouchie clan can't. What of my growth? My growth of hope?
That is a tumor.
It wasn't all an apparition. I can't accept this. I won't. I refuse.
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move the conclude.
Shut
I'll
up.
just go fuck myself.
Hold it.
Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals.
You've been able to say whatever you want on the stand, dude.
But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls.
And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction.
So your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now. Irrelevant? Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed. It doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. The hell are you going on about? After all, the trial's on each show. The whole thing hinges on something else.
What the fuck are you going on about?
He's off the deep end. What are you talking about?
Full-blown Cocoa Puffs.
Brace yourself, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed.
It's got completely cuckoo
Because
Cocoa
of the
Puffs.
dirt you dug up. What? Oh, I didn't even look up for that. What?
It's all coming according to plan.
Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, Whitney.
But to explain, I'm talking about the poison, of course.
The poison?
Wait. Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? Saying that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that the poison was administered to the victim as Brett, is that right?
That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used.
I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed. Ah,
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood.
Tish, haha. Ah, how refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom and whose back and with whose blade. Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Objection!
Forgotten already, have we, yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever.
Ugh. So, let me get this down. The fact says, skillfully established by the defense in this trial. Turned out to be the headline-making red herring. Is that about right?
Well, ow.
Yes.
Pardon me. Sorry.
What? Where does this the
What the? We lost her again.
Oh. Skype happened.
Yeah, Skype happened.
We will definitely try
Hey.
Discord next time.
No, this time it's my internet.
Well, we're gonna have to go over and fix your internet.
I'm telling you, it's been fucked up for the last few days. I'm telling you, ever since like we had that snow lapse. How
yeah.
in the case did the poison enter the victim's body?
There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it.
You mean she drank it?
Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, a bottle of carbonated water and a glass had been knocked onto the sandy floor of the beach hut. The poison could have been slipped into either.
Maybe she just committed suicide.
So somebody made Miss Brett drink it? Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already. Established? What are you talking about? Tell me, you've forgotten. It's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you.
Me? What on earth does he mean?
Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. This is I'm press fire, this is.
It would seem that the trial is not destined to end yet after. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. Oh my god.
That's great, that is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency.
Oh God.
You claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court in your testimony that basis upon which you make such a claim.
I'm a journal and a man. And I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start now because that's many memos.
And that makes me a man.
A many man. I mean, crap.
Many mano, son.
For a brief moment, I thought I'd eliminated the truth, but it slipped right back into obscurity again, like that squiggly line you see at the corner of your eye. Just where is this trial going to take us?
In a manly direction. Shut up.
Oh yes, I stabbed the English woman, and that's the fact. The very fact that proves my innocence. Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her? What the hell? That's stupid logic. When I heard a student girl and a pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat.
Oh no, they took his goat!
And it made me angry. The
I was
courts
gonna
were going
use
to-
goat milk.
Because I had some frosted flakes.
Oh, I didn't realize Frosted Flakes existed in this time period.
If the courts were going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done. So, you admit it then? That everything happened as I described? That you are... Oh, that you are the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the reed screen. You can blame this miserable country of ours.
Oh yeah, sure. Blame a piece of land.
A country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free. Okay, but you're also a murderer now. Like, who are you to do this?
What kind of point are you proving?
Like, this is like Cura logic here.
Well, there are so many other people that kill others, so why have it was like so I do the way I do it is different. I do it for justice. Yeah, he's like Funny Valentine. He thinks everything that he does is like because of justice.
Oh god, no. Why am I thinking about this guy who might have Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap or D4C?
Or Love Train.
Yeah.
Or like a bootleg version of it.
Instead of Love Train, it's What a Scoop.
What kind of future can a country like that have?
A one that's still developing.
That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do.
What, kill people?
Slap that in the middle of that charming lady's back. I plunged that sweet blade of justice right in there.
Oh god, he is funny.
yeah.
He is Funny Valentine.
As a photographer?
Yes.
I hate this dude already.
Someone who
God.
spends his life seeing that the truth is told. Cat. It's a cat. Oh, sorry. I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. Wait, you perjured yourself, you weirdo.
Yeah, he's going to jail anyway.
But as it turns out, there
So
was
he takes last napkin.
there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got to her before me.
Yeah, but his logic, the country was the one that had the napkin. He's just following suit.
That's right, you guessed it. That pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart.
Now he's a pedo, too.
Ah,
Take a seat, sir. Chris Hansen would like
Wait,
to have a
hold
chat
on.
with you.
Hold on. I'm looking in the court record. I'm gonna see how old these people are.
Like 16 or 17, maybe.
Ray
Ray's,
is 16.
okay, Ray's 16 and 38.
That's why I said,
ah,
take
Hanson,
a seat. Where's Chris Hansen?
Ew.
ah,
Ew.
Ah!
You're implicating Ray again. She's the only one who gave the poison to the Englishwoman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly, snap! This journal is here on the hook.
the argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had an admission to the poison himself, You need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently, stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical.
And therefore, this reporter had nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, it's all quite logical.
But wouldn't that have made her die quicker? Because, in the back. What the hell? That's right, it is logical and true. I'm glad you've all seen the light. Justice at last. This is unbelievable. And after I'd made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he going to get away with it now? Ow, ow. Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san. They never stopped looking for a way forward until the judge's final gavel.
And it's this one.
Very well then, I'll still proceed with what I assume to be your final cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Well, over in Britain, the judge over there is getting his restaurant ready to go. He still hasn't figured out an appetizer. And he says he's not going to do anything until he gets that appetizer finished, so no main course and no desserts.
How little did you know it was the appetizer from SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm. Run for your lives!
What exactly were they arguing about? About what happened in that restaurant 9 months ago, that's what. The student girl was laying into the Englishman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson.
Yes, John H. Wilson. Hold on, it's getting popped up, man. A professor of... Yeah, it's chopping. I can't read it. I'll come back, hold on.
I blame the snow. Oh, what was that song from Hey Arnold about the snow? I hate the snow. I hate the snow. I hate the rain,
and I hate the snow.
Sleep. Man, I sure do hate the snow. My feet are froze and my toes are too. I hate, whoa! I hate the snow.
Welcome
The
back.
Professor of Medicine invited you here from the England by Professor Nova, no less.
Right, but the Englishwoman just cheered.
Her case was to be heard by the British consular court in Shanghai. However, there is little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman.
It was eating that student girl on the side. You could see it. I really felt for her. Oh no, what's going on? Oh.
I can't. I can't stand here to listen to this tripe.
Oh, you don't listen to tripe, you eat tripe.
Hey?
Young girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whatever you feel like it.
No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen.
But
My beautiful
this
words.
awful man is making all of this up. Sato, please, you have to make them listen.
Return to the dock at once, son. We were in the middle of a cross-examination.
Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness.
Exactly. He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty, gray, peeping Tom.
Even she admits it.
Whoa, take it easy there.
Peeping, maybe, but my name's not Tom.
Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say.
Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks.
I will grant the request of the defendant.
Your Excellency.
This is likely to be the final cross-examination of this proceeding. As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. So, with this, recognizing that all this conveys regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak.
Oh. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
So anyway, like I was saying,
It was nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison.
The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean?
I suspected of her being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson.
that's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison.
But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed by the government.
Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult. Unless, of course, you had a stand that was able to hide it for you. That's true. I pestered Professor Mikatoba until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited his laboratory. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail. Because I am a cat. Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we'd be developing, you see. And since Soseki-san expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance. I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with a deadly poison. I wanted to look my old enemy in the eye. Surely you can understand that.
To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it, the whole government even. It would be a complete disaster.
And how did Miss Brett respond to your concern?
She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and said she didn't know the first thing about it, in English actually.
Ah yes, Mary Memo-san. One small question if you don't mind.
Self.
Did we lose Sylph too?
What the hell is what's up with this connection?
That's it. We're doing Discord next week. Fuck.
I blame the snow. Although I don't think she gets any snow Oprah right now. Although I could be wrong.
Maybe it's Elliot.
Well, let's see. Oh no, she's still up. Maybe Elliot was like, I am going to summon mighty powers. Oh, her computer died. That's what it is.
Oh shit.
Alright, well... Are you ready for Star Sato to make an appearance?
I'm eager.
Okay, then let's do it. And I'll also have to play Many Memo then, too.
Shall we?
Yes. I do mind. Can't you see I'm busy?
Clearly, you were outside the beach hut listening in whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably, then, it was you who wrote this article about what you heard? Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published in this morning's edition of Shoyu News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else.
Sorry, don't know what you're talking about.
Yes. Look at this. The entire article. It's almost what I said to Miss Brett, word for word.
Ugh!
Well, Many Memo-san.
As a Giorno, and as a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources. That's a founding principle of Many Memoism.
Father's clearly right about this. That reporter did write that article, and he based it on what he overheard from outside the hut.
Sylph is hoping she doesn't miss the ending. As she's trying to get her
Aw.
computer back up.
So that's what it was all about. You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. Pervert. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her.
Shut up. My stories never stink. Look, whatever you
Yeah,
say,
they
little...
do.
Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I want it to go on record.
Very well. You may amend your formal testimony. You go
Creepy.
the waters.
Creepy.
The point is, if you'd poison someone, there'd be no reason to then go and stab the person as well.
Unless, of course, you truly hate them.
Objection!
Well, I can think of one reason.
What?
But before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information from this newspaper article from what you overheard outside the hut? Of course he did. There can be no question of that. After all, when we were all in the laboratory together, all we were told is that it was a terrible toxin. And there is one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Membami-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would be impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink.
Objection!
Where are you going with this, counsel? Many Memo-san has made it quite clear that he absorbed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it.
Ugh.
Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Membami-san entered the hut. Circus? Do we lose her too?
Damn it. What is going on here?
Well, we got snow problems up in Kentucky, that's for sure.
Well, should I?
You want to fill in for the judge at least?
Sure.
I'm here. I'm
Oh.
here. I'm here.
Hey, I was just about to say. What the-
I'm not waiting for the screen. I was like here, but you guys could not hear me. I don't know what's going on, but it's really driving me nuts. We really gonna have like switch a Discord next time.
Yeah, let's hope that works the next time around.
Maybe
So-
we can find their type of message. Yes. Well, very accurately.
When I walked into the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison.
At which point, many memos saw and overheard some worrying information. Worrying information? What worrying information? The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in strict secrecy, and that it couldn't be readily obtained.
Absolutely. In fact, that's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could come from is my lab.
And furthermore, anyone afflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death.
The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable.
In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by the use of this particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects to only a handful of people.
Oh.
Everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we've been developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed. Membami-san being no exception.
Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered this unique poison to the victim was a layperson unaware of its telltale properties. In other words, someone like you, White in Many Memo.
Ah!
Very much.
It was you who stole the poison from the laboratory that day. And it was you who administered it to the unwitting victim. But you quickly realized that was a terrible mistake.
Because the poison caused such unusual symptoms, then it was so untraceable.
As you listened in from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learned of these facts. But you already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involves stabbing the victim in the back through the weed screen.
Objection!
But what good could that possibly do? Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect.
Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction. But he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he?
Exactly. Because without any revealing signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would ever have suspected.
This is extraordinary.
Yes, the effects of the poison meant it would be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask its use, which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back.
Order! The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have a counter-argument it wishes to put forward?
Well, there are a number of. I mean, yes, I counter completely.
Objection!
The prosecution's evasive response clearly shows that in much the same way as he nurtures the remnants of his top knot, he is clinging to lost hope. Lost hope!
Touchdown. Ah, you pathetic, useless, fallen samurai.
Fallen? Who are you calling fallen?
I don't need a counter argument.
What are you talking about?
It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say? Gave it to the victim, you say? Stabbed her, you say? Lots of fine theories. Well, I don't need a counter argument because you don't have an argument yourself. Where's your evidence? Yes, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? But without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts.
Explain yourself.
I mean, what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all here, in my many memos. Every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted. That's what the Shoyu News is famous for. It's the power of the printed word.
Oh, that's still highly toxic to be developed.
Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult.
How's that then? Blow the story wide open? See, I, write in many memo, a mere reporter for the Shoyu News. Couldn't possibly have stolen that poison from the professor's laboratory.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Ow! Can you see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But there can't be any question of it. He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used it to kill.
Do we need to update you on anything?
What did I miss?
Well,
Guys,
we just figured out he's more of an asshole because he tried to poison the victim and then use the stabbing as a cover-up.
Yeah, I was thinking about it when I was getting my toast, and it's like, wait, poison wouldn't give him the front page photo he so clearly craved. So, like, if he had a little knifey incident happen, then that would have been front page news.
Oh my gosh, and if that's the case... As you've identified, the poison itself is the definitive evidence we need. But whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is... What's your point, you annoyingly handsome country bumpkin?
Oh God.
My point is this, there is no way that you... Oh, there is one way that you, Many Memo-san, could have stolen the poison that day.
Heard enough. Enough verbal conjuring now. Thank you. What the court must be shown now is evidence. What proves that you have that the witness stole the poison on the day in question?
And you're about to find the answer.
we take off the pen's lid? Wait. Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we?
Are you getting it?
The poison's in the ink, isn't it? That must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Is something wrong, Father?
Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all.
Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
Take that!
To prove your excellency, is this fountain pen. Oh.
Circus? It's the snow day.
It's Snowmageddon. Elliot, back up.
And we're supposed to have snow too. Oh shit.
I'm about to say is I don't want to close my eyes. But every time I do, I wake up feeling so horny.
A fountain pen? How could that be possibly relevant?
Hi.
These magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. Get the fuck off my desk and stop taking my toast. I believe that it arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now. Elliot, great.
Bah, I swear by a Weasley hair calligraphy brush and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad.
Well, as a forward-thinking man of words, obviously I love my fountain pen. Suck up a soupcon of sumptuous ink, and one's work is awash with words in the blink of an eye.
Elliot's being a little shit. That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel. How many times do I need to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later.
What is all this talking of sucking up ink have?
And just as it's possible to suck ink up into the reservoir, it's also possible to eject it through the nib again, of course.
My word.
Well, Memo-san? When you saw that deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By stuffing the poison up through the nib and into the pen's reservoir.
Objection!
More absurdity. That never happened.
Truly heard that there were procedures in place to prevent deaths like this from the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places?
No, I'm a little ashamed to say that for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been conducted. And plus, who would ever think to look in a pen of all places?
Well, my darling, I must say.
I remind the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Manny Memo-san. Well, the crucial question is, when exactly was the pen dropped?
Are you suggesting?
A natural conclusion is that in your haste to act whilst the victim is distracted for a moment, you drop the pen after you emptied the poison from it into her glass.
Objection!
There couldn't be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim. And when shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand.
Objection!
No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen was devoid of ink?
What?
As you can see for yourself if you examine the evidence, there appeared to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone with nothing in his pen? No, the pen was dropped after the poison that filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass. Angry noises.
What do you say in your defense?
So this is how our modern justice system works, is it? So what if the ink in my pen runs dry? So what if my pencil snaps?
Holy
I
damn.
can always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty in reserve. Arrgh! You claim I sucked the poison out into my pen. That's wild speculation, nothing more. If you thought you were gonna bring down a fine, upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think again.
It looks as though it's going to take one final decisive blow to finish this matter.
I fear the situation is now very. On whether or not this witness did indeed spill the poison on that day is in question. Or it depends on whether or not the defense can prove that he can't.
Ha, no such evidence could possibly exist.
Objection!
Many memos, son. This is how our modern justice system works. What? In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember. Because we're well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you.
Very well then, I call upon the defense to present the aforementioned evidence.
This is it then. This will be the final piece of the puzzle.
We can do this, Kazooie!
Yep. The defense can prove by means of this item that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison.
Take that!
Ask, what is that model?
This bottle contains the unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question.
Eh.
Yes, that poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method.
Or from another perspective. Simply with this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of the poison. A reagent? What? One drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Mini Memo-san. It's all it will take to solve this case beyond reasonable doubt. No, you can't. I won't.
Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat.
Your Excellency. The defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once.
Here we go, you're gonna love this part.
What the fuck are you doing with that camera?
You spin me right around, baby, right around.
God damn it, Joe. Susato, with me!
Ow.
Oh gosh.
Did I do it right? That was a Susato takedown, wasn't it?
Elliot, get out of my way. Not quite.
I was almost expecting
Almost
Star
a shit.
Platinum to come out.
That was a Ryotaro takedown.
Ora ora ora?
You've written your last memo right, and Ura!
Playing the Stardust Crusaders theme in the background from Jotaro's theme.
Oh gosh. The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present.
Right
I
and
know
sad.
now.
Yeah, right and sad.
When I saw it there in a lab, the poison.
Right and go back to cave.
The devil got hold of me and I decided to do it on a whim. I excused myself and emptied all the ink down the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully.
I got the ink down the sink.
The ink is in the sink. The grease is on the spoon.
And then you waited for an opportunity to suck up some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen.
Yes, that's right.
Answer me one thing, Many Memo-san. Why did you steal it? For what purpose?
Isn't it obvious? To find out what it was made of and expose it in an article.
Yeah, unless you're going to expose government secrets, then
I
that's
mean,
probably
it
the only reason.
Oh. I mean, it was a secret project after all, too juicy for a journo like me to pass up.
Then why did the English woman end up dead?
Bitch stole his pen, that's why.
I went into that hut intending to quiz her on on her situation, that's all, as a reporter. A known killer enjoying full freedom, evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it.
Oh, and wait till you find out the reason.
And she just laughed in my face, that little bitch. She laughed and laughed and laughed.
Like a Batman villain.
Oh, what's this? A Far Eastern caveman?
purporting to practice journalism?
I can't believe it. I used the caveman joke earlier, and I totally forgot to use this line. Okay, right and go back to cave.
You must learn the difference between reporting and listening always, you ignorant plebeian.
What did you call me?
This country, under its pretensions to a justice system, to a free press, it's really very depressing. You see our superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacity to emulate them.
Ableist.
Get out of here, you oaf! Get out! And crawl back into the cave you came from!
Okay,
Why,
right and
Yamada?
go back to cave and write many cave memos.
Right and knock out woman and drag into cave. Ugh.
Ooga.
That's
Or
when I
eeg.
remember. Oh,
Ooga chaka, ooga chaka.
that's when I remembered about the deadly poison I happened to have in my pen at the time.
Isn't there a movie called Ega with like a caveman that was like woken up and then tried to pursue like some girl that he found in the cave, and then he was like, "Ooh, Ega need to go to town where she live and then take
I feel
her
like
again."
wait, Dinosaurus or
I don't.
oh, that was a
know.
different one.
Amy, go away, Elliot.
Damn it, Sylph, you made me crave toast now. Thanks a lot.
Same
How'd you
here.
know I had toast?
You said so earlier in the conversation.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah. I have to get some more.
In my head, I knew I should just get out of there as quickly as possible, but I couldn't. I wouldn't let her get away with what she done when she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my journal spirit, frickin' getting all fired up.
He looks like he
Golden
needs a
experience,
big
wasn't
fucking. He needs a shot of whiskey now.
Right and go make gin and tonic in cave bar.
I'd like to ask you something. Shaken or stirred? Yes.
That's your answer. Just yes.
You have to talk about justice. But surely, as a journalist, you could have used other means to deliver the justice you sought.
You mean like paper?
There's no justice in the press.
Sorry?
Elliot, so help me, I will... After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what happened in that courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up, that's what it was.
Elliot, out of the court. Now!
A cover-up? What do you mean?
Circus?
Oh shit, here we go.
That dreaded snow.
Elliot, stop doing that. I have a Q-tip to fix up, like, clean up parts of my Switch, and Elliot thinks it's a play toy.
Anything that's a distraction, it's gonna go for it.
Oh, come on, doesn't it strike you as strange? We're suddenly not allowed to convict a foreign national. Consular jurisdiction should have never come into it. And yet that puffed up English woman was going to sail away into the sunset a free woman. Only possible explanation is that behind the scenes, some deal had gone down between Britain and Japan.
What sort of deal?
Get off my desk. I've done my research, dug up all the dirt. It was all ready to be published. But you know what happened? The editor just tore the article up.
He came under pressure from the government, you mean?
Stop it. If our government is going to let criminals walk free, if they're going to crush the free press, then what choice do I have to see that justice is done myself?
Okay, Wolverine.
Let's not forget, Mini Memo-san, that you committed murder yourself and you tried to lay the blame at the defendant's door.
Knock, knock, knocking on the defendant's door.
I'm sorry, but you're no better than Giselle Brett.
What?
The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all.
I suppose.
It would appear that we have reached the conclusion in this trial last. Counsel for the defendant, Russell.
Oh. Yes, I'm sorry, Your Excellency. Just musing in a manly way over here. Transportation and women.
It's almost
propane.
unbelievable that this is your first experience of a Supreme Court. It was an excellent performance. In truth, it very reminded me of your cousin's experience.
Oh, Naruhodo. Inosuke, you mean?
The way he handled the trial 9 months ago and the way you handled this. It's clear that we are literally in a new era.
That's very flattering, Your Excellency.
Hearing the defense you put forward today made me feel most tender. The future of our judicial system will be forged by you and your contemporaries.
Thank you.
So, prosecutor Achu, do you have any final thoughts?
Uh-oh.
Where the hell you get that birdhouse?
What the fuck?
Prosecutor Ouchie.
I, Takasuchi of the Ouchi clan, have been bested by a callow youth not once now, but twice. If there was any shred of my former self left, it has withered and died here today.
Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it?
Silence!
Yeah.
Rather than living on in shame,
Oh, fuck.
Oh shit!
I will end it all now with this blade.
Don't do it, man. It's not worth it.
For that is the true path to Ouchiism.
Oh god, here we go. This is basically
Ouchie-ism?
Put down the sharp object.
One hopes that's the only way in which he'll be modeling himself after the witness.
he's trying to. In this times, he's trying to defend his honor.
Sprig of my topknot, the time is right for farewell. Hope is lost forever. Takasuchi.
Get off my desk.
Suchi.
wrapped in the wind, bald.
What a fun fucking bully.
Pray for the hair that went away.
Press F to show respect.
Circus?
Time to go and fight the snow.
Time to go. Time to go to fight the snow. Time to go fight the snow.
I hear we're supposed to be having snow like for a few days ourselves here.
Oh gosh, I hope I'm not getting snow. Elliot.
Is that Elliot playing
Yes.
with all that?
Your Excellency.
Oh no, that. Sorry, that's me.
Someone throw that dog out of my court.
Rough.
Workable. Hey,
I have
Don't
reached
bite
my
me.
final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Cherry blossom fight.
Oh, never mind. Kiss, fall off. Do-do-do-do. Get off my desk. Get off my desk.
Court is adjourned. Now I'm back to my ramen.
Get off my desk.
Damn, Sylvia sounds so demonic right there.
Because he won't listen. He keeps jumping up and then he stood up on his back legs. It's over. My heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do just to stay standing.
Hi, I'm here.
Lawyers have such great responsibility, such a great burden to bear.
I am looking off into the dark void. Don't bother me.
Don't they, Naruhodo-san?
Go wake your mother up. Don't bother me. Sasato!
Get off my desk.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You were so dashing in there.
Ray and Father.
I'm gone.
Honestly, I'm so touched by everything you've... Oh no! I think I'm going to cry.
Oh no. Somebody get her a tissue. ASAP.
It wasn't easy, but together we made it. I was on the verge of tears at the end, too.
I mean, after you sent me flying up in the air like Team Rocket?
The only reason I'm still here is because of you.
Oh no, I can't take all the credit. It takes courage to tell the truth in there. You did wonderfully, Ray. So I would have to say that the congratulations belong to you.
Susato, don't be so standoffish.
Sorry?
We're friends, equals, and the trial's over, so no more of this formal superhumility nonsense. It's time to celebrate with swagger, to throw caution to the wind.
Caution to the... what?
It means don't give a damn.
I'm the great detective lawyer Ryutaro Naruhodo, and I'm taking you to a milk bar tomorrow. Or something.
Right, I see. I'll think about it, Ray.
At any rate, we really knocked the wind out of that horrid man, and it felt so good.
That poor man. Sorry. Yes, it was satisfying.
So satisfying, just like ripping up some soap. It really was. Isn't there anybody else we could throw together?
I hope you're not looking at me, Ray.
Oh my goodness! No, of course not. Of course not.
Ah, there it is at last. Ray's lovely smile.
You fought for your friend to the very last. As your father, I'm extremely proud of you, Defense Attorney Ridotaro Naruhodo.
Thank you, but I couldn't have done it without your help. Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Ryutaro, I think. I shall miss him in a way, but it's back to Susato Mikotoba now.
Mooney?
So I'll never see him again then. What a terrible shame.
What?
That sounded like a burp.
What is happening?
Oh shit! Here we go.
Ah, so Seki-san and Inspector Hosonoga. I do hope you've been keeping well.
Is that really you?
Look at the turtle. Look at the turtle.
Yes, I had to change my appearance for, well, obvious reasons I hope, but it's me. Probably wondering how I got into this situation. Susato Mikotoba.
I don't.
So
Jojo,
What? Oh,
you're still.
I was marveling over your so dashing, so divine look. No! Doubly dashing, yes, and devilishly divine. Just look at you. I had no idea, Mrs. Sato-san Esquires, that you were locum student Naruhodo-san Esquire's cousin. Astonishingly astounding ace attorney!
Oh, title drop. Partially.
Poor Soseki-san. So confused.
Been dazed and confused so long it's not true.
I still remember the first time I ever met him. He was in a prison cell in London. Why is that still the one they show of him, where it looks like he's shooting himself?
You'll find out why in the next case.
What an extraordinary conundrum. It was that the unwitting student from Japan found himself embroiled in.
Get off my desk. Get off.
But after Naruhodo-san's skillful defense at the Old Bailey, Soseki-san was free to return to Japan. Unfortunately without his cat son, but...
Well, now we're taking care of him.
Yeah.
And now he seems to have earned himself great fame as an author.
I'm stunned. Impressive disguise. Even I, the inspector at the police bureau, came up with a Mr. Turtle nonetheless.
I'm not sure you should be admitting to that, Inspector.
Hey, easy with my turtle. Amazing. You're a woman of many faces, I see.
Just two, really. And this was a once-in-a-lifetime event, I hope.
Oh, I'm a
Shit, self.
Oh, I'm not a patch on you, though, Inspector.
well. I am a professional, of course.
I do worry about Inspector Hosonaga sometimes. I really do. Nine months ago, when he appeared here at the Supreme Court to testify, he was undercover disguised as the head waiter of a restaurant. And then on the steamship to Great Britain, of course, disguised as a sailor to keep us safe on the journey. Though, that didn't help you, did it, Kazuma-sama?
From my perspective, I have to admit that I have mixed feelings about all this. I mean, now that the truth has been lost forever,
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the murder of that English woman committed at the end of last year.
Ah, yes, it was an English doctor she killed, as I understand it. Dr. John H. Wilson, yes, the man I invited to Japan personally.
The mystery is, why did you kill him? And now that the culprit herself is dead, we'll probably never know the answer.
On the voyage to Great Britain, we had a most unexpected encounter with Mr. Herlock Sholmes, the great detective.
Yes, I remember Mr. Sholmes well, of course.
Ah, my arch nemesis. How lightly you utter his name. Well,
Well, according to the stories published about him in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, the detective once had a partner who helped him solve crimes, a best friend. And that man was an exceptional doctor of medicine by the name of John H. Wilson.
What? Dr. Wilson?
I just can't believe that it's a coincidence. I think that the English doctor of medicine killed here in Japan 9 months ago must have been the friend and partner of Mr. Sholmes. And if that's really true, then the poor girl will never see her beloved father again.
Iris.
as you know, I traveled to Great Britain once myself to study. It was around the time you were born.
Yes, grandmother told me about it.
On returning to Japan, I took up my professorship at the Imperial Yume University. But I also serve another role as an advisor to the government on diplomatic affairs.
Yes, I was aware of that as well.
Exposition. In that case, I'm sure you understand that there are some confidential matters I cannot divulge to you.
Could you tell me just one thing? Why did you summon me back to Japan?
Hmm?
Hold on, I can't see the screen. It's been 2 months now since I returned. When I left England, it was because of an urgent telegram that had arrived from Japan. It said that you'd collapsed with a high fever and you were growing weaker by the day.
What? Where did that news come from?
That's what I'd like to know, because after that long sea voyage, I found you in fine health, Father.
Remember when I told you I was sick? That's right, Father, you did. I lied.
Was there something in Great Britain that you perceived might inconvenience me in some way?
or harm me. That's really the only explanation I can think of.
Dear me. Do you reserve your most cutting glares for your father, Sasato? I'm sorry, my dear. I simply can't. Oh, let me go!
Oh shit, he's back!
Ha. Ha.
Many men, Mo-san.
So, one throw wasn't enough for you.
I've got one last thing to say before they take me away, Professor.
Me?
I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. It was that visiting student's fate.
Visiting student? Giselle Brett, you mean?
No, not her. The student of law who left for Great Britain 8 months ago.
What? Student of law? He must mean Kazuma-sama. What are you talking about? What does any of this have to do with Kazuma-sama?
Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on that steamship. That he'll never. What?
The top! Oh, damn!
Well, I didn't expect to find him in here.
Judge, what the hell?
What were the officers playing at?
I'm terribly sorry, Your Excellency!
I was coming to tell you that the Ricochet has arrived, Sergeant, and it's a good job I came by.
Yes, thank you for dealing with him, and I'll be there shortly.
Oh, Your Excellency.
Proud of, I'm not actually really friendly.
Oh, Uncle Shishiro.
And I may say that since I saw you last, you seem to have things on a more dashing appearance.
Oh,
That's us all.
did you know all along from the start of the trial?
Oh gosh. A judge sees everything.
I couldn't let you take the risk. If Shihiro here had known and then he recognized you, so I had a word in his ear beforehand, as an old friend. So, Shishiro, shall we?
Yeah. Having ruled on that case, we now have various diplomatic issues.
And let's not forget our Valentine's date right afterwards.
Before you go, Father.
Sorry, my dear. We shall have to return to our earlier conversation at a later date. And speaking of dates, but well done again, both of you. You did admirably. We're gonna go to that new fancy Italian place.
Thank you very much.
I want breadsticks.
What do you think might? It's been a while since I sent a man flying that.
Oh gosh.
Wait a minute, why is the spaghetti not have any sauce on it? Naked spaghetti? What does that mean?
Whatever could Father be hiding from me? About Giselle Brett, about Dr. Wilson. And now it seems, according to a reporter, about Kazuma-sama. I'm going to have to bring this up with Father sometime. When nobody else is around.
I'm still here. Judicial Assistant Mikatoba San Esquire, could I have a word?
Oh yes, of course, Oseki-san. What is it?
I think perhaps it could be fate that we're meeting again like this now. You see, there's something I need to tell you.
Oh?
I believe that it may be related to the reason why your father summoned you back from England.
This I have to hear.
Please,
Please, Oseki-san, tell me at once.
I will.
Stop
Then do
what
it,
you're
then do it, then do it,
saying.
do it.
As you know, my time in England was terrible. Cursed, I have no doubt. Such awful things I was embroiled in. Thank goodness locum student Naruhodo-san Esquire stepped in. After he secured my freedom, I couldn't wait to get on a ship back here to my homeland. Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experiences to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Professor Mikatoba. He wanted to ask me all sorts of things about my report.
My father?
He seemed to be especially taken with a particular part of the report. Anyway, he left eventually, having thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the very next day that he sent the telegram to you asking you to return to Japan.
What was it then? The particular part my father was interested in.
I don't really know exactly. But do you remember them? Those two terrible cases I was caught up in?
Of course. I could never forget.
Your father seemed to concern himself mainly with the second case.
The second one, you mean? The one Mr. Sholmes forbade any of us to talk about in public. Which is why the only case involving you that any member of the public is aware of is the first.
Well, I don't care. I don't have to listen to what that dastardly detective says. Anyway, the point is, it seems that case somehow holds the key to all these curious, unanswered questions. That horrific, hideous, heinous case. The case of the haunted lodgings.
That case somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan. I thought that whole business was over, but it seems I was wrong. Perhaps that was only the start. Perhaps the story is not yet told yet.
Cutscene.
So, the mystery of that English woman's death is solved, thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better. How you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san. But actually, I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. Father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again. Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The skies are brilliant blue. It makes me long to see you again. Yours, Susato.
Yeah. So, yes, there apparently were 2 different cases that Soseki was a part of. It was just that we only saw the first one from the first game. And the second case actually takes place between the 4th and the 5th cases of the first game. So we're going to be taking you back to the past in the next episode. We're going to see how Soseki-san got arrested again.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he pretty much he was free to go, and then he got arrested on the same day he was let go.
Wow,
Jesus.
what crappy luck this guy has.
And now we're going to find out exactly how that all transpired. And why the case was so forbidden that nobody could talk about it. Because it will come up later in cases 3 through 5. So, we're gonna catch you all next week, and you're gonna find out all about poor Torgo, and how he couldn't get home and how he couldn't get home in time to take care of his cat.
Aw, poor little Fluffball died.
No, it's now living with us. Because remember the cat flapper machine that Iris built?
Mm-hmm. Have you all forgotten about that?
I certainly
Cat
didn't.
Flappinator.
Yes. Which I'm surprised is not an invention here.
Don't worry. Waggy is doing just fine.
Okay, good.
Does he miss his
Oh, yeah.
kittens?